Hello and welcome back to Chengi's World. My name is Chengi and you, my precious one, are my world. So welcome to Chengi's World. For those of you who are new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe, like, share and comment. And let's get this party started. Okie dokie, so today is Soul Saturday, baby. Yes, it's my favorite ever section where I talk to you about matters of the spirit and matters of the soul so we can get it together. Now, one of the things that I always say and constantly keep saying, for those of you who are new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe, like, share and comment, and so you can keep receiving these amazing videos where you can learn so much spirit, soul and body, because that's when it's going down in Chengi's World. I want to talk to you today about the fact that your faith and your trust will be tested. One of the things that I have really taken a while in my salvation, in my walk with God, and I have known God pretty much all my life since I was a little girl. One of the things that I've always known in my head, but not always accepted in my heart, was the fact that God will test you. I've never understood it. I don't understand why God would bless you with something or give you a word about something and say, look, I'm going to do this for you, and then put you through hell, and then on the other side you have a testimony and you're thinking, but why do I have to go through the hell? If you wanted to give it to me, why don't you just give it to me? And sometimes it's my way of dealing with the fact that I'm lazy. Sometimes I don't want to pray. I just want it to happen because you said it would happen, Lord, so make it happen. Like, why are we still here? Right? And one of the things that I've learned, I was sort of going through something the other day, and the Lord really sort of had to punch me in the face with this reality and this truth. And what it was simply, Chengi, you still refuse to accept that I will test your faith and test your trust, because the reason for it is anything that God gives you, all through the stewardship of that thing, is going to require the exact amount of faith and trust that it took to get it. And if you've not built up the faith and the trust that you need in order to look after this baby, if you've not built the faith and the trust to be a good steward of what you're going to get, then the problem is going to be that the thing that you're going to get is going to become the thing that will topple you over. Many people have risen to the top. Many people have come from nothing and become something. And it's not long before you don't hear about them, or you hear scandal about them, or something has happened that is because they came into a premature birthing of who they were supposed to be. And this is sometimes what the enemy will do, is he will bring you into a premature birthing. He will bring you into a premature outing before your time and before your season. And it will seem great and seem wonderful, and you will get into rooms that you would have ordinarily not got into, but then you will have a difficult time because you'll begin to struggle in that room. Because in that room is you're not ready for it. You did not build up the skills, the faith, the trust in God through difficulty, through situations that were dark and difficult. If the children of Israel had not had the wilderness experience, they would not have been ready for the Canaan experience. Because the reality of it is, you see, the children of Israel had to journey. The children of Israel had to journey through wilderness in order to get to the promise. The reason for it is when they could not see the promise, when they could not see how it would be possible for these people who'd only ever known slavery, when they didn't know how would it be possible for them to have this exquisite, amazing promise, they still had to believe. Because if they could believe that God could sustain them through the wilderness, if they could believe that they could survive these harsh, arid conditions, if they could believe that their wilderness was better than their slavery, if they could believe and trust that God's way was the best way, if they could do that when there was zero physical, natural evidence of that promise happening, then guess what? They would be able to deal with the giants in the land. Because guess what? Wherever God is taking you, whatever promise He's made you, there are giants in that land. And the same faith that you used in the wilderness is the same faith that you're going to need in Canaan to deal with the giants. If you could have trusted God in a season of arid dryness, that he was capable and able to make what he said true and come to pass, then you will be able to believe God when you are facing head to head with the giants in the land. Everything that God gives us, like I said earlier, is to be stewarded, but everything God gives us comes with its own challenges. It comes with giants in the land. You were praying for a man, you want a family, you want children, but you have not yet met the giants that exist within the realm upon which you are asking. You want to be a millionaire, you want to be a billionaire, you want to be a trillionaire, but you have not yet met the giants for which you are asking. Because in every realm and every sphere of life, whenever we go higher, we face bigger demons, we face bigger challenges, we face bigger obstacles that you will never be introduced to in one realm of life. A poor person will never be introduced to the burden or the difficulty of who to give when everybody is coming with a begging bowl. That is an experience that somebody who doesn't have money or who's working hand to mouth will never have to experience. It's not a problem that you have to deal with. But if you can, in your season where you are being tried and tested and having to figure out, why did God promise you this, but it's taking you through this to give you something that you don't even know will happen, it's because in the season of waiting, in that wilderness experience, God is testing your faith and your trust. Now, what is faith? Faith is the evidence of things hoped for, is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith, it says it is manifest, it is done. Trust, on the other hand, says, I am confident in how God will do it. You see, that sometimes most of us have faith. We have faith that God will bring us a husband. We have faith that he will make us wives and mothers, husbands and fathers. But what we don't always have faith for is how he will do it. So what we do is we get involved in the how. What we do is we know it's going to happen. So now we're going to help God out and try and make this happen. And we don't sit at his feet long enough to figure out what it is that he would have us do. And 99.9% of the time, he would ask us to be still and know that he is God, and know that if he has promised it, he must have a how. And he will release that how to you in its perfect time and in its perfect season. When you're going through a season right now where you know that God has said, it is in his word, and she will have her mate, and it is not good for man to be alone. There's so many promises that tell us in the word that marriage and relationships are exactly what we're built for, that we thrive in them, and that each and every one of us has access to those relationships, because it is God's will for us to be in a relationship with somebody, to share life, to break bread, to have somebody to keep us warm at night, and somebody to confer with when times are hard, and somebody to hold your hand when you're taking those risks that life sometimes requires of you to take. God knows that being in a relationship is a far superior thing in terms of the human experience than just being alone and being an island. So he has made provision for you, so you can believe that it is possible, but sometimes we do not trust him. And so God can say, okay, you have faith, but let me just work out your trust. If I take away your notion of how this relationship was supposed to unfold, so you meet a guy and it's wonderful and it's honeymoon and it's fabulous and you think, oh my God, this is wonderful, then he pulls away, he disappears, he starts to show signs of doubt and not being sure about being in the relationship with you. And the first thing that you do now is try to enter into your flesh and decide that you can make it happen, you can keep him with you. Or do you lean back into the trust, into the spirit of God, and say, Lord, if you have begun it, you will bring it to completion, and I will not fight the person, but I will go to war with myself, with anything that would oppose any vain imagination that would come against what you have promised me. Because at the end of the day, when all is said and done and the storms and the winds and the rains have come, we are required to hold on to the promise, because it is the anchor, it is the only sure thing. Because God is not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that should change his mind. His whole reputation as God is based on his word. He is his word. In the beginning was the word was with God, and the word was God. His word created the heavens and the earth. His word is the foundation upon which everything is built. His word is his integrity, is his person, is his whole being. When God says something, when he promises something, when he gives you a word concerning something, all you are required to do is hold on when the circumstances seem very adverse to the very thing that he has told you. Because guess what? The adverse circumstances are the indication that heaven and earth and hell believe that is going to happen. And so you are being tested, because to get there is one thing, to stay there is another. And God does not want to give us blessings that add sorrow. He doesn't want us in a room where we cannot speak up. He doesn't want us in a room where we have to fight for our right to be in there. He wants us in the room having been seasoned, with him having gone before us. Everybody knowing that you're in that room because of something they cannot control, touch, or feel. Knowing that you are there because there's something about you that cannot be bought for money. When the children of Israel entered the Canaan, the promised land, they were in there not because they were stronger, because they were bigger, because they were tougher, but because the God that went before them broke down those walls. And the children, the enemies and the Canaanites knew that they were not just fighting a people, they were fighting a God. And who can stand? Who can stand against a God that will tear down the walls of the city of Canaan, and the breadth of them and the magnitude of them? Who would stand against such a God? And so God wants to give you a marriage, a relationship. He wants to give you a business. He wants to give you prosperity in every area of your life. But he wants a prosperity that you know that he gave you. You've got to be able to say, but God did it. It wasn't my looks. It wasn't my smarts. It wasn't anything that I did except trusted and obeyed and had faith in God. Because God will try you. He will test you so that he can purify you and make you holy. Not so that he can frustrate you. Not so that he can upset you. You will go to your friends' weddings and be the one looking on, or be the forever bridesmaid. You will be the one that seems to be getting older and having less. You will be the one that looks like is a joke. You will be the one who is most deserving and least receiving. You will be the one that looks like a joke. You will be the one who year upon year has no other story to tell. You will be the one that men reject all the time. You will be the one that attracts great guys and they disappear. You will be that one, and you will ask yourself, but what have I done? I am a good woman. I've got a kind heart. I look good. I do everything right. Because what God wants to give you, he wants you to know for sure that this one has nothing to do with you. This is something to do with him, so that when the challenges and the storms and the rains come, you can be anchored and stand upon the foundation. So he says, where are you built? Upon the foundations of the word. Because when that stuff hits the fan and the enemy begins to attack that stuff, you can say, I didn't bring this to pass. He who brought it to pass shall indeed sustain it. For he who began a good work in me shall see it to fulfillment and to conclusion. So I want to speak peace into your soul today. I want to speak peace into the storms that are raging, and the feeling that you are being left behind, the feeling that it just can't seem to come together for you, the feeling that you can't just, somehow it's hard for it to come together for you. I want to encourage you today and speak peace into your storm. I want to say to you, look, God has not forgotten. This is about you. It's not about the other person. It's not about where the men at. It's not about anything. It's about you. Just centering your spirit on the faith and the belief that God has spoken, that God has given you a promise, and that God will fulfill it, because his whole reputation is on that promise. He will never let you down. He will never fail you. And so focus on believing and trusting God, praying and reminding God of his promises concerning you, reminding and worshiping and dancing and having a good time in the Lord, because you know that he has promised and he shall surely bring it to pass. He has promised, and you can 100% go to the bank with the check that God gives you, because if God says something will happen, then there is no other alternative. And so rise up and shine, for your light has come. 2018 is not yet finished. We have so much work to do. There's so many miracles that can happen. There's so much that can be conceived, so many good things that can happen before 2018 ends. You could be falling in love with a man that you're going to marry in 2019. It doesn't matter if you seem to have lost him, he's going to come back. If he is yours, if he is God's will for your life, that man's going to find his way back into your life. It doesn't matter if you have been waiting forever, somebody's going to knock on your door and sweep you off your feet. It doesn't matter how long you've been waiting or how long you've suffered. God is not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should change his mind. I just really feel that God wanted to encourage you today, really, really, really encourage you today. and let you know that he ain't forgotten you, girl. So that's from me to you for Soul Saturday, baby. I'll see you on Instagram and Facebook, and we're gonna keep this party going. Thank you so much for watching. Love you lots. Take care of you. Bye bye now.